Share your unique perspectives and experience, and speak honestly. Good morning, Caltrans Bay Area. I apologize. I believe we had a few technical difficulties to start out with. Let me start over once again. First and foremost, I want to welcome you to this discussion on equity here with Chief Deputy District Director Dina El-Tawansi and myself will be hosting this conversation and this discussion this morning. We have several members of our executive team as well as many supervisors and managers here with us today. We are socially and physically distancing ourselves from one another. That's why we are not wearing masks at this present moment. Before we get started, however, I would like to just make mention and recognize that on Friday, September 18th, we lost Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She died, and we remember and celebrate her for her advocacy for gender equality and for women's rights. She was a trailblazer, shattering the glass ceiling and opening the door to opportunities for women. Rest in power, RBG. As we move forward, this is a new conversation on equity, a new topic for our department for many people. And what we'd like to ask is that you be present and contribute to the meeting. We love to have you participate 100% by sharing ideas, asking those questions, and contributing to the discussion. Share your unique perspectives and experience. Speak honestly. We respect everyone's thinking and value everyone's contributions. If you state a problem or disagree with a proposal, try to offer a solution. We ask you to be very respectful and professional. As I mentioned, this is a rather new topic for many Caltrans employees. It is a sensitive topic, and so there are many emotions that sometimes come with this topic. This is an interactive event, and there will be a question and answer session. We ask you to think before you speak. You can respect another person's input and point of view without agreeing with them. It's okay to disagree respectfully and professionally. Please do not personally attack anyone for sharing their opinions or views. As I mentioned, the topic of equity is a rather new concept for many Caltrans employees. And equity typically refers to racial equity, but also includes gender equity, elderly equity, and differently abled people equity. Remember, we are all learning this together, and we're learning from one another. If we're truly honest and open our hearts and minds, and take the time to actively listen to one another, we can all grow from this experience and become better human beings towards each other. Today's discussion is an introduction to equity and is the first live discussion in a series of discussions Dina and I plan to have with everyone. We ask that you use the question and answer section of the WebEx event to post your questions or send your questions to asktony@dot.ca.gov. For live questions, please use the raise hand button and remember to unraise or lower your hand after you are done speaking. We ask you also to please stay on point and on time, respect the group's time, and keep comments brief and to the point. However, we want to hear your personal experiences as well. When a topic has been discussed fully, please do not bring it back up in the live discussion. You may include your thoughts in the Ask Tony email or in the group chat. Please also try not to repeat what others have already said. Our next slide, please. So our next slide So equity, what does it mean and why do we care? Equal does not mean equitable. Equal means the same or balanced. It assumes everyone starts from the same point. It assumes everyone has the same resources, education, support system, home life, and family support unit. Equitable means fair or impartial. It recognizes that every one of us have differences, that we come from different backgrounds, that we may have different educational levels. We have been exposed to different life experiences, good and bad, and that's what's formed us. Equitable, the understanding that although the U.S. Constitution states we are all created equal, we all have started out life at different levels in society. Some have more opportunities than others. I'd like to share a quick personal story about myself. And many people don't know this, but my parents are immigrants. I'm the first generation in the United States, born in this country. My parents worked very hard through life with multiple jobs to ensure my sister and I could have a good education and share in the American dream. Even with their hard work and support, I worked multiple jobs to pay for my tuition and books and living expenses while I was going to college. And in my last quarter at UC Davis, I held 3 jobs and carried 21 units to graduate. I consider myself extremely fortunate to have had wonderful and loving parents who cared, supported, and believed in me while I was going to college. The distinction between equality and equity is especially important at Caltrans. It allows us to identify visible gaps in opportunities and outcomes while pivoting forward to a better California for all. Caltrans Bay Area Equity Goal, representing the communities that we serve, is an essential part of how Caltrans Bay Area shapes equitable goals and practices to create a better California for all. A question I would like everyone to think about and be ready to share your thoughts when we open the discussion at the question and answer session. The question is, how are we representing the communities we serve? Next, I'd like to talk about equality versus equity. Equity recognizes differences and attempts to counteract unequal individual opportunities. Equality recognizes the sameness and treats everyone as equal. Equity promotes fairness, while equality promotes evenness. Equity ensures people have what they need, while equality ensures providing everyone the same things, such as in this slide. Equality shows everyone receiving the same type of bicycle. Equity would conform the bicycle to the abilities of that individual, as in the bottom part of the slide. Equity represents impartiality, promoting opportunities for all, indicating that all should have access to what they need. Equality represents uniformity, where everything should be balanced evenly amongst people. So now, is Caltrans Bay Area representative of the communities we serve? Next slide. As we look at the cross-section of our District 4 Bay Area Caltrans employment group here, our workforce, this pie chart provides that cross-section, and the data is from August 2019. It does not reflect recent hires or promotions in our district. But in any case, you can see that our district is fairly diverse. Over 60% of our district is a very diverse and from different races. Next slide. For managers and supervisors, from this chart, we see also that more than 60% of our supervisors and managers are from different races. So we are extremely diverse district. That is good news. Next slide. Our rank and file just looking at that group of the hires that we've done, also shows that more than 60% of our rank and file employees come from various races as well.
The new rules did help the economy, and they were